The film opens with a recap of the last movie, where 6 strangers were lured to a seemingly harmless escape room run by a mysterious organization called Midas. Sole survivors Zoey and Ben escaped and killed the game master before planning to expose Midas entirely after learning their base of operations is in Manhattan. Zoey has been in therapy following the ordeal with the last escape room. She and Ben have tried to make trips to Manhattan, but Zoey has been too terrified to fly, and she is still haunted by witnessing people like Amanda die during the last game. The therapist thinks Zoey needs to let it go and thinks she sees clues to the game in everyday items, like her pen, her handbook, and a novel. Zoey decides to follow her advice. Zoey convinces Ben to drive to Manhattan to go through with their goal of exposing Midas. Ben is also haunted by the ordeal, even having a nightmare that Midas found them at their motel room and trapped them in there to their deaths. The two make it to Manhattan and arrive at an empty alley that was supposedly busy days earlier based on their coordinates. They come across a junkie who swipes Zoey's mother's compass necklace, leading her and Ben to chase the man into the subway. He loses them when they are trapped in a subway car. Soon, the two find that their car uncouples from the rest of the train, and they are trapped with 4 other strangers: Rachel, Brianna, Nate, and Theo. The train car is isolated in a tunnel, and the group soon realizes this is another Midas game. They are all survivors from past Midas games, making this a tournament of champions. The metal in the car is highly electrified, and the group must play to get out. Based on the riddles, they discover that they must decode a message in order to pass. With every letter they uncover, they get a token that helps them escape. The more letters they find, the more sparks fly across the car. Theo is electrocuted to death when he accidentally gets stuck to a ball. Zoey figures out that the message is welcome back and helps the group escape through a hatch in the car. The group ends up in an elevator where they introduce themselves and describe their previous games. Brianna was trapped with other influencers, while Nate was a former priest trapped with other men of the cloth in a test of their faith. The group ends up in an underground bank where random tiles are rigged to set off laser grids, leaving the group with only 10 minutes to make it to the exit safely. They solve various riddles to help them cross over safely, but Nate tries to be a hero and sacrifice himself to give the group a chance to make it to safety. After Nate falls unconscious, the group unlocks 2 safety deposit boxes marked with the name Sonia to gather the next clues and find the right path to safety. They carry Nate to the next room just seconds before the door vault to the next room shuts and the lasers take up the whole room. The group ends up on a beach simulation where they find a camera that leads to their next clue. Soon, the sand starts swallowing things up, forcing the group to act fast to find the next exit. Rachel is sucked under the sand, so Nate grabs a life raft and rope to dive underneath and pull her out. While Rachel is taken to safety, the rope snaps, and Nate is pulled under the sand to his demise. Among the other things in the area are a mannequin with seashells on her eyes, along with another mannequin that looks like a little girl. The group finds an opening through a fridge in the nearby crab shack to the next room, but Zoey finds an alternate route through a hole in the lighthouse. Uncertain of which path is the right one, Brianna takes the one through the fridge while Rachel and Ben follow Zoey. Ben apparently doesn't make it in time and falls into the sand. Zoey and Rachel make it through the lighthouse door and get out. As they exit, Zoey blames herself for Ben's apparent demise. Rachel tells her not to feel bad and then reveals to her that she cannot feel pain or any kind of sensation, so Midas probably picked very dangerous games for her. They then hear noises that seem to come from outside, leading them through a manhole that apparently takes them back to downtown Manhattan. However, Brianna emerges and reveals they are still trapped. Rachel finds burns on Brianna's back from acid rain, as the challenge here has the room set to a timer where acid rain will pour after the clock runs out. The ladies run for cover as they try to find the clues to their survival. They find a phone booth and an umbrella that provides them with brief protection until the door to a cab opens. Zoey makes it in, but Brianna and Rachel cannot make it in time before the acid rain gets them and burns them to death. Zoey is taken into what looks like a child's bedroom. She finds a diary among other clues from earlier rooms, which belongs to Sonia. She finds a quote spoken to her by Amanda, and sure enough, Amanda herself, alive and well, comes out of the room. She tells Zoey that Midas kidnapped her daughter, Sonia, and would give her back if she helped design the puzzles that the group has been pulled into. Ben turns out to be alive but is trapped in a room that will fill with water unless Zoey agrees to be the new puzzle master. She refuses, and water begins to fill the room. The glass is too tough to break, so Zoey finds an exposed gas line and pulls it out with Amanda's help to burn the metal on the cage and expand it enough to break the glass and free Ben. The police later find the 3 survivors, as well as the bodies of the other 4 victims. Their statements are taken, and a detective brings Zoey back her mother's necklace. The authorities have been tracking Midas for some time and are conducting raids across the country to bring them down, and they are working to locate Sonia.